Okay, welcome back, guys. In the previous videos, I have covered how I set up my charts, how to download and install NinjaTrader, and I have introduced certain marking tools that I have been using during my live sessions. Whatever things that I would be using in addition to that has been introduced so far, I'll talk about them during the live session so that you are versed with those tools. In this video, I'm going to talk about the time and price theory. Uh, when we talk about how the markets go up and down, you would have heard of a lot of terms called supply and demand, and how the markets are random and the price keeps going up and down, and no one can predict uh, the future movement of price. So all those things are a myth. Everything that happens in the market is 100% controlled, and that is the basis of time and price theory. If the markets are controlled, then we can predict when it is going to move in a certain direction and how far it is going to go. So that is possible only when we know that it is moving in a controlled manner. If it is all random, then it's very difficult to have a realistic read or expectation about what is going to happen in future. It cannot be done. So right from the beginning, please take those uh, thoughts out of your mind that the markets are random and no one can time it. As we go ahead in the live sessions, you would see me calling the direction of price. You would see me, marking precisely where I want to see it turn, and you would also see me telling you the time by which I expect price to run and reach a particular place. So all that is possible just because uh, I understand the factors that, uh, rather more than factors, it is the mechanism which moves the market up or down. I won't say factors, so I stand corrected over here. So everything uh, that happens in the market, it's basically uh, run through an algorithm called IPDA, or interbank price delivery algorithm. So what this is basically, it's the mechanism which moves the prices that move up and down. So you would say that okay, which all markets are controlled by this algorithm, and basically it's any market that has a chart and it's traded on the exchange is controlled through this algorithm. So the favorite stock example that I gave you, the SBI, also moves on the same algorithm, or the index futures that we are going to trade are run through this. The forex markets are also controlled through the same algorithm. So if you understand this, or if you understand the characteristics of this algorithm, you would also be able to uh, predict the time and price at, or let's say, the direction of price uh, in advance. So that's the algorithm that I would be talking about during all our live sessions and the lessons. So we are basically trying to increase our understanding of this algorithm. So before we go ahead with this thing, let me clarify it at the outset that uh, even my mentor from whom I have learned this has not revealed the entire part of it. He is under an NDA, so he could not, talk about certain things, and certain things cannot be articulated or, taught in a easy way. So those things are also eliminated. And whatever he has mentioned so far is he has covered close to 25% of what he understands about the algorithm and made it public. So. You and me probably will never understand this algorithm uh, by 100%. But whatever you understand, that gives you a very huge advantage, which you will be seeing evidence of. When you start seeing it, you'll realize that you don't need any more to make what you require. No matter what number you put in your mind, that will seem very small when you really start applying these concepts and getting returns from the markets. So that's a word about interbank algorithm. Second most frequently asked question to me is, if there is an algorithm that controls all the markets of the world, who controls that algorithm? And I have been emphatically saying it so far that it's not important who controls that algorithm. It's important for you to know how it works rather than knowing who is behind it, because knowing that who is not going to make you a better trader. It means nothing to you as an input. Rather than having a gossip value, it won't have anything. So we are not going to know the names of the people who are behind it, but collectively the people who are behind this algorithm are referred to as the smart money. So this smart money basically is the entity which uh, controls these market movements and the algorithm, and they are found on the right side of the market always. So that's the reference that you'll be hearing about throughout the live sessions. So whenever I say smart money, that's the entity which basically has the advantage of having an algorithm that runs efficiently for them, not us. So let's take these two things out from here. Now, what is this time and price theory? There are, certain inputs that this algorithm takes, uh, and it works on those inputs. So those inputs are basically the time and price. So when we are going to learn it, how it operates and how it works, we will have to differentiate between these two things, the time and price, because the time concepts will vary from asset class to asset class. So time concepts that are meant for forex will not be applicable in futures, the index futures. So index futures have a different time concept, or rather I would say there is a difference in these concepts when we apply it to bonds or to any other commodity, because of the uh, operational timings of all these asset classes. So if you are going to talk about Indian stock markets would be opening and closing at a particular time. They'll not be matching with the US markets, or UK markets will not have the same timings as Indian markets. So you understand that the typicality of time is connected with its location. So the time would be different at all locations. That's why the time concepts and also the operational hours of all the asset classes are different. So uh, the time concepts will keep varying from asset class to asset class. So in this course, I'm going to talk about time concepts that are applicable for index futures. When you move out of this asset class and move to some other asset class, you'll be able to calibrate it. Don't worry on that part, but that is not your concern starting right now. You have to understand this asset class, how it operates during certain times. So that's what we are going to discuss in today's video. I may not have enough time to cover the price concepts as well in this. If I have, I'll continue to cover that. But if we go on for longer covering the time concepts, then I'll skip the price concepts for this, and we'll do it in the next video. So the price concepts are same across all asset classes. It doesn't change. So whatever you learn in the price concepts part, it's going to remain same for all asset classes. There is absolutely no change over there. So whatever I cover in the price concepts, it is applicable in forex, it is applicable in bonds, it is applicable in commodities, Indian stock markets, everywhere the price concepts remain constant. So there is no change that is going to happen over there. So when you learn this time and price theory and master this asset class, that is the index futures that we are going to learn in this course, you will be able to move out of this asset class if required into some other asset class and still carry the same price concepts over there, and just you will have to recalibrate yourself as per the timings of that asset class wherever you move. So if you move from index futures to forex, the only thing that would change is the time part that you'll have to recalibrate yourself with. And then you can take on the same concepts that the price concepts that you have learned and continue trading in that asset class. So that's how uh, this is going to work for you in future. So let's start covering the time concepts for index futures. So what is the operational hours of index futures? Let's start from there. So I have marked certain vertical lines over here, and I will urge you all to do these markings every single day for you to observe what is happening during these times. So let's start from the beginning. The US markets, the index futures, basically they uh, open at 8 o'clock as per Indian Standard Time. So you can see over here this particular candle, the markets have opened on 2nd February, the Friday that just gone by. So on Friday, the markets opened over here, and then it has traded wherever it has. So the opening bell for index futures is at 8 o'clock, that is as per Indian Standard Times for US markets. But these timings change as per the daylight savings time. So we'll have to be mindful of that. So whenever daylight savings time in US reverts back to the normal timings, then this time is going to be preponed to 7 o'clock. Because how the daylight savings time work in US is whenever the daylight saving times are enforced in US, all the clocks will go 1 hour ahead from where it was. So whatever used to happen at 7 o'clock will start happening at 8 o'clock. And whenever the normal timings are reverted, then everybody gets their clock back by 1 hour. So whatever was happening at 8 o'clock will start happening at 7 o'clock. So that's the only difference in the DST or daylight saving time and normal timings. So right now, since the daylight savings time are enforced, the market's opening time as per Indian Standard Time is 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock the market opens. Then what I have marked over here is one vertical line at 8:30. So between 8 o'clock to 8:30, we will consider this as the opening range. So whatever happens inside this half an hour is termed to have happened during the opening range. So you'll have to mark one vertical line to denote the opening timing, that is 8 o'clock, and the second vertical line is at 8:30. So this half an hour, I generally encourage you all not to trade. Just observe what is happening during this time. And the reasons I'll cover in future, there are certain days on which I say you should trade during the opening range. So, what are those days and why would be covered in future lessons? In fact, it is part of one of the existing live sessions that has already been posted on the forum, but we'll again cover that part. So, over here, I'm just going to talk about the timings and what happens during that time and the terms related to that. So, that's all you have to note and understand. So this part is known as the opening range, the first half an hour. Then starts the New York AM session. So initially, while you mark these lines, you should also add text to it and label it so that these things register in your mind. So from 8:30 to 9:30, this uh, 1 hour, rather we have it for 2 hours, starting from 8:30 to 10:30. I'll just keep it over here. So these 2 hours basically constitute the New York AM session. I'll also write NY over here for New York. So this is the morning time or the first session for trading in US. So that's why it is New York AM session. It's morning in New York. For us, it is night. So from 8:30 to 10:30 in the night for us. For the US, it is the AM session. So, why this AM session is important? Because during this time, there is a move in the market that is, a directional move. So, this, if you can see upward movement, this is a uptrend or a trending move in this particular time. So that's why it can also be termed as a New York trend or New York AM trend. So that is what we are going to learn how to trade or capture. So I'm going to mostly confine you all to trade between 8:30 to 9:30. But on some days that you know part of reaching the expected targets might require one more hour. That is the hour after 9:30. So from 9:30 to 10:30, you might have to wait for targets to be reached. But your entry would be between 8:30 to 9:30. So whatever uh, entries that you make are going to happen only during these times, and you'll have to wait for targets to reach in some on some days, for that hour after this 9:30. So, so this part is clear. So time wise, this is the time window in which we are going to practice, and I'm trying to make you a master of this section between 8 to 10:30. This is the section in time that I want you to become masters of. If you do that, you do not require to know what is happening in any other time. You will never feel, that you have missed out certain things, and you will always have an opportunity to pick up whatever you want from the markets. So you don't require any other, time window to trade. But are these concepts limited to this session? No. Especially the price concepts, will be applicable in other time windows also. So, if your life does not permit you to trade during this period, that is from 8 o'clock in the evening to 10:30, then uh, you can calibrate your own trading hours to some other session. And what would that be? There is something that happens between 10:30 to 11:30, and typically that is known as the New York lunch hour. NY lunch. So the algorithm operates in a particular way during this time, which I'll again cover in later sessions. But for now, all you have to know is there's something called as lunch hour. So between 10:30 to 11:30 is the lunch hour. And then post lunch, what starts is the New York PM session. So let's copy this it over here. So post lunch, what we will be seeing is New York PM session. So it's the afternoon session in New York. So after 10:30, sorry, 11:30, like I urged you all to just observe price action between this portion. We also have an half an hour portion left out as the pre PM session, or there's no name as such pre PM, but something akin to the opening range happens after lunch. So when the price no moves after the lunch hours, it will do certain typical movements between this time window, and that's why I have one vertical line at 12 o'clock. So again, I will urge you all to not trade and just observe during this period. So between 11:30 to 12 o'clock is what would be used only for observation, and then from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, something like the AM session, we have the PM session. So this PM session would be from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So even the PM session can be divided into two parts. That is the hour immediately after the first half an hour of after lunch session, and the hour from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So these 2 hours can be traded in a similar way that you trade the New York AM session. So there are two distinct trending movements that happen in the index futures. So the timings are what I have already covered so far. Now, between 2 o'clock to 2:45, that's when the market closes. There is another move that happens, that is market, or that is termed as market on close. So the last portion is market on close. I've just written MOC. Very late for us to trade during this time. I have done it a few times, and I feel it's very taxing. And next day is always, very difficult to go by through that time. So I would avoid. But if nothing else, can be done about your own availability, or you getting time to trade certain sessions, if you're not able to do that, then even this portion can be spared for you to trade. So you have opportunities four times over here. That is the market on close, the New York PM session, lunch hour, the New York AM session. Uh, the best session to trade is the New York AM session. That would be the easiest session to participate in and trade. For lunch hour trading, you will require a lot of experience to build up, and it is not as easy as the New York AM session. So you may get tricked, and your hit rate or success rate during lunch hours would be very, uh, you know, I would say, uh, very less, and you will require a lot of time to understand this session and trade profitably in a consistent manner. New York PM session is again easy to trade. So if you make a mistake during AM session, that can be corrected during the New York PM session in a easier way. Uh, so I do sometimes trade during New York PM session because It's I mean, at times when I do not find time during the AM session, I come back to PM session, or sometimes whenever I have taken some losses in the AM session, I try and recoup all of them in the PM session. So that's how I operate. But all that you need to do is to understand this session very, very well. You won't require to be bothered about anything else, because this is the best session, easiest, and it's easier to master. And for the most part, you will find time during this time window. By 8 o'clock or by 7 o'clock, most of the people are back from their jobs, unless you are having a night shift or something. So you will find time during this session, and the earliest that you can enter is at 7:30 when the daylight savings times are not enforced, and for the current timings it is 8:30. So after 7:30, generally most of the people are available and they have time to trade. So you won't have to readjust much. But if you are in a typical case wherein you are working outside the Indian standard timings, then you may have to recalibrate and adjust for other sessions. So these are the timings that you need to know about. There is one more thing about the timings that you should be aware of. That is the real trading hours, or the regular trading hours, or the electronic trading hours. So why these two things? If you notice at 244, this last candle printed, and then there is a gap over here in price, and then the markets open over here at 8 o'clock again. Again, from 8 o'clock, when you go to the last candle again would be of same 244, and 245 there is nothing. So these uh, timings are basically the regular trading hours. So at 8 o'clock, the opening bell rings and the market start trading. And at 2:45, the markets close and there is no more trading in the market. So that's how the regular trading hours, or RTH, works. But there is something called as electronic trading hours. What it means is the real exchanges are closed, but electronically the markets still trade. So when I click on electronic trading hours over here, you'll see there is some data that still is printed after 244. So you can see this was the 244 candle, this one over here. So this is where it stopped in the regular trading hours. But in electronic trading hours, you can see the markets have moved from here down to this place. So this has all happened during the electronic trading hours. And if we go back to the previous day, that is the Thursday, then you can see this was the opening at 8 o'clock, and now you can see there is all this data on the chart which was simply missing when you were on the regular trading hours. You can see these are the movements that the price has done post 244 on the previous day. So let's see that on Friday. This is all on 1 minute chart that I'm showing you. Um, Okay, so over here, so this is where the previous electronic trading hours stopped, and then all this data is printed. If you see, the regular trading hours are till 244. So let me show you where is this is the candle for 244. So at 244, the markets closed over here at 49.44. This is where the regular trading hours stopped, and then the electronic trading hours began. So in the electronic trading hours, the price further continued higher like this, and then it stopped over here. So what is this gap about? This is basically electronic trading hours also continue only till 3:30, and from 3:30 to 4:30, again, you have to keep in mind this is as per DST. So when it goes back to normal, it will be 2:30 to 3:30. So for that 1 hour, the markets completely stop trading, and that is used for maintenance of servers. So that's why there is a gap over here in price. And we'll be talking about this gap as well in future when I refer to it. But you have to be aware that the markets, when they shift to electronic trading hours, that is after the close of the markets at 2:44, uh, rather in the normal timings it would be 1:44. So after that, the electronic trading hours still continue to trade. Then the market stops for 1 hour and then again resumes. So this is basically the change of day over here. So from the previous day, the markets then shift to the next this thing, new day. Now everything that is happening after the servers reopen, this is constituted as the overnight trading session for the New Yorkers. So all this is happening in the overnight session until 8 o'clock. That is 8 p.m. for Indian Standard Times. So from the opening of electronic trading hours, the prices will still continue to fluctuate up and down, and it will keep moving around until 8 o'clock. And then the real trading hours or the regular trading hours start from 8 o'clock for us. So all this data will not be visible if you are on regular trading hours. And I do shift between the regular and electronic trading hours. And those reasons again I'll cover in the live session. So the time concepts that I have talked about so far, you should start marking and noticing them every single day. By default, you will be seeing it every day, and it will become a kind of routine for you to, mark all these things. But initially, you will have to use these lines to, align yourself and have the, say, visual feedback from the chart that you are observing the movements of price during these timings. So the time part is very, very important. You have to understand and know these. You cannot just be trading for the heck of it. You want to know what time it is, and then uh, have the proper expectations from the market. You cannot just expect markets to move because you have time. The markets will move when they are supposed to move, when it is time for them to move. That is why this timing is very important. Now, I'll also introduce one more resource that I use for recalibrating the timings. And it's not about moving these time windows anywhere else, but it is for uh, you know giving us that indication about when it is time for markets to move. And that insight comes from the economic calendar. So I like to refer two economic calendars. One is the forexfactory.com. So you can just hit forexfactory.com and bookmark this site. The first time when you visit this site, you should sync the time as per our time zone. So this is what I have selected and clicked on save settings. So this will remember that you are in the Indian time zone, and you will have the calendar recalibrated as per our own timings. So this is important. Yeah, you want this clock showing the same time that your computer is showing. That's how you would know that these are our timings. Because if you are not doing that, then you would have some different timings over here, and then the purpose of this calendar is lost. So that's the Forex Factory. In addition to this, I use econoday.com. So no, for past couple of months, I'm seeing that the change time zone option on this side is not working. So all these timings on the I mean calendar are as per the Eastern time or the Eastern Standard Time. Since I'm already aware how or what times it means on the um, in the New York time zone and how it correlates with Indian Standard Time. I do not have any problems when I look at the timings in Eastern Time. But if you want to do it initially, at least you will have to use a tool called worldtimebuddy.com. So I have this website again, you can bookmark that, and I have Eastern Standard Time and Indian Standard Time both placed in this tool, and now you can compare what times are matching with the Indian times and the Eastern Standard Time. So when you look at this event, it is at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is the Eastern Standard Time. 10 o'clock is 8:30. So 10:30 would be the 9 p.m. for Indian Standard Time. So this event on Econo Day is basically happening at 9 o'clock in the Indian Standard Time, 9 p.m. Now that brings me to why do I use two calendars? You can see this event, the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Survey, is not mentioned in this calendar on the same day. Oh, sorry. Uh, Again, this is for Monday 29th of January, and this calendar is showing Monday 5th, so it will not match anyways. uh, on Monday, you can see over here, 29th January, there is no news as far as forex factory is concerned. But Econo Day is giving us that there is a report at 9 p.m. So I tend to compare both these calendars and then update myself about the news that are going to be released in the session that we are trading. Uh, on the forex factory, the setting that I have over here is go to this filter, and I have all these boxes ticked, but I have removed all other currencies but US dollar. So just select US dollar and apply the filter, and you'll have a similar calendar like I have on my screen. So that's something that you need to do. Otherwise, you will have a lot of other news shown which are not important to you, like Australian dollar, Japanese yen, euro. All these news are not going to affect the US index futures. So you need not be aware of these news. But when you're trading forex markets, you certainly want to know when these news are going to get released. So for index futures, you don't require any of other currencies. All you need is US dollar and just apply that. So certain events that are marked now over here, you can see there are certain events that are marked as orange, some as yellow, and some as red. So this is basically indicating the amount of impact this release of news is going to have put on the movements in the market. So the red folder events are all going to be high impact. The orange ones are medium impact, and the yellow ones are low impact. So this indication of impact also differs between these two calendars. So over here also they have a similar way of denoting the importance or the impact. So the red star marked are market moving indicators. The green ones are what require extra attention. And then there are other key indicators. So if you compare it with Forex Factory, this would be high impact, this would be medium, and this is the low impact news. So the impact also sometimes is shown as differently between these two calendars, and that's why I want to side with the positive part. That is, if the Econo Day calendar is showing me certain report as a medium impact and the Forex Factory is showing it as low, I would side with something that is showing me a medium impact. So that's how I use these two calendars in conjunction with each other. So that is what you have to be mindful of. So this calendar gives us an insight as to when we want to uh, see movement in market. So if we have a news coming out at 9 p.m., uh, we'll be expecting markets to move around that time and not 1 hour prior to it or 1 hour after it. So that's how we use the economic calendar to know what time is the market going to move. So that is also part of the time concepts that I wanted you all to be aware of. So now going ahead, what should you do to practice? Initially, you may want to mark all these timings, that is the AM session, the lunch, and the PM session and market on close. That will help you align your own mind with the entire trading day of New York or the US markets. But later on, all you need is knowing what is happening during the New York AM session, because that is what you will be trading. So there is hardly anything that you have to do. Basically, you have to mark the opening timings, the opening range, and the first hour after opening range. That's all where you will be trading. Some days you may require markets to trade and reach your targets from 9:30 to 10:30. So anything prior to lunch is what you need to be aware of, and other timings you may not have to you know think about in the initial part. So that's all about the time concepts that I wanted to cover today. Make your notes. Initially, it will be very confusing to talk about timings because we are, comparing timings between two time zones. That is, timings for US are different. The Indian Standard Time is different, and that's where this tool comes in. So do get comfortable with these timings. Uh, I have noticed a lot of students, they take the notes initially and then they forget about timings entirely, and they do not know what happens during what time. That is the biggest mistake that you would be making if you are operating that way. You have to know about time. So just get comfortable about these times. The only change that happens is from daylight savings times to normal timings, and that's just preponing everything by 1 hour. So every line that we have here will just move back by 1 hour when we go back to normal timings. So the market open will happen at 7 o'clock. The opening range will be marked from 7 to 7:30, and we'll be trading the New York AM session from 7:30 to 8:30. And sometimes the price will reach our target between 8:30 to 9:30. So these 2 hours are what we'll be using for our AM session trade. And then there'll be a lunch hour. Post lunch, again another half an hour for observation. And then we again have 2 hours to trade during the New York PM session. So mostly that PM session trade again would be confined to the hour between 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock as per DST times. And when it is the normal times, it will be 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Sometimes the targets again can be reached during the next hour, that is from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock for DST, and from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock in normal timings. So that's all you need to know about the time concepts, and you have to practice marking this. When you start doing this every day, there are certain things that you will start noticing distinctly. And over here, if you see after this half an hour, there is a sharp move lower, and then a trending move begins from here upwards till this time. So it has been trending from here to here, and that has happened specifically after 12 o'clock. This is significant, and that's what we learn to notice these things. If you do not, take notice of certain movements and timings, you will be doing a guessing game. So you want to make your what you can say, uh, or you want to be familiar with these movements. A typical way in which it moves can only be noticed when you know these timings. Because the moment I remove all these drawings, everything will seem random, and there is no context to price going down where it has gone, and no context for it to go up uh, when it has gone up, because it just blends into all the up and down movements, and there is no context left to price without time. So the time concepts are very, very important for you to understand and mark every day. So that's all for this session. In the next one, I'll talk about price concepts, and then next week we'll go into the live sessions.